He did a great job. You ready to celebrate?
Welcome to the Big Motor Small Blade Podcast. My name is Buddy Pulley, joined by Seth Dolby of Push to Pass, which is also on this YouTube channel. You'll see it later this week, or maybe you've already seen it. I don't know when he's going to put it up.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay. All right. As of right now, it is tomorrow.
Yes. I'm still technically editing it, but
okay.
It's almost done.
Yes. But anyway, he is Seth Dolby. Our host of On Tour is off. It'll probably be off for a couple weeks. He's taking some chuck time, which he is allowed to do. We don't keep him hostage here. But other than that, Talladega. That's where well, I guess we weren't there this year, but
thankfully.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'll be honest. I kind of enjoyed the race. If we're jumping right into it, like, I didn't think it was bad. Like,
I thought it was whatever.
Okay.
Like, I genuinely, that's just kind of how I feel about it. It felt like pretty much every other plate race in this car.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily worse, not better. I just felt like it was kind of what we've seen before. I think
that I am enjoying this package the more and more it happens. I'll put it like that. Which is the exact opposite of the general consensus.
Yeah. I don't think it's particularly like awful necessarily. I just think it's whelming.
You hate super speedway racing.
I do, but I already told you at the beginning of this year that I'm going to put that behind me.
Yes. Which I'm very proud of.
And I'm trying. And it's hard because I really hate it. He's trying to sneeze.
Jesus Christ. I think it was my first sneeze on the podcast. I'll probably cut it out. Maybe I won't. I don't know. So super speedway racing for me. I've always liked super speedway racing. And I think I've already said this on the show at some point, but I'm going to say it again. I grew up in a household that loved Earnhardt. And specifically, I grew up in the Dale Earnhardt Jr. era of he won every plate race, it seemed like. And so plate races always were exciting and they were always fun. And that was also, in my opinion, the best era of super. I'm not even going to say in my opinion. It's pretty factual that was the best super speedway racing, was that era in the early 2000s. And so I think I still hold on to that nostalgia that I had as a kid for super speedway racing. And I get excited for them and I enjoy them more, and I take them for what they are more than I guess some people have, which yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to take it more for what it is, but I had to, so a little backstory. I left your place around 2:30 ish. Got caught in a hell of a traffic jam because, apparently 4 lanes on the highway is just not enough. We all have
Never
to crash.
has been. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up listening to the vast majority of the first stage on the MRM broadcast. And dude, the way they're talking about this thing, I'm like, man. And I'm being facetious here because I know they play it up. But I heard someone use the phrase breathtaking. They said this was breathtaking. I'm like, wow, this must be really, really cool. And I get there and they're running 2x2.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I get it. But also like, damn, you don't got to lie to me about it.
Yeah. I will say nothing about this race was breathtaking.
Yeah, no.
I would say there were moments during Daytona that I would say were breathtaking.
I think my problem is I used to really, really like Talladega, but I feel like right now it's like I'm watching the Daytona 500 without any of the aura of the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it feels like. So like at least Atlanta has its own thing, like its own spin on it. So like you can kind of enjoy that more, and there's more of a, it's just a different feel of a race. And then you go to Talladega and I'm like, okay, it's like Daytona, but like,
Yeah.
I don't care at all. Like, I don't.
Yeah. I think Daytona's definitely better with this package than Talladega is. Talladega lends itself to a lot more of the 2x2. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed the race, but it was, I think whelming is a good way to put it. It wasn't like overwhelmingly great by any means. Just jumping right into it, a lot of it was fuel savings, which let's make our peace with fuel savings, because I know everybody pretty much hates it. A lot.
It's something like, it's funny because like we've done this forever, but also like it never looked like this before, basically. So I can see why it's, I don't know. I don't really care about the fuel saving necessarily. I think if you made the race 500K, you probably get rid of a lot of this.
Or stage yellows weren't a thing. I think that would help.
Especially if stage yellows weren't a thing. Yeah, I've never understood why we have stage yellows at a super speedway race. It's the dumbest shit ever.
That's the thing. I would hope we have a lot of short track fans that listen to this show, judging by the overwhelming support and success of On Tour right now. And a lot of those Cars Tour races and late model races are much like this, except they're tire saving races, which the Cars Tour has kind of moved away with that. With the new tire they have, it's a little bit harder, and trying to get them to race more during the race. And I've always, or since we've kind of come to the realization of why they run 2x2, and the racing is the way it is. I look at it like this. It's obviously the package is. It's hard to pass at Talladega, obviously, especially once you get down to it, and they're running basically 4 seconds off the pace, and so once that happens, it's harder to generate. I feel like it's harder to generate runs, and so when they are saving fuel, I look at it like you are, from the drop of the green flag, you're saving fuel, right? You get to stage 2. You try to race a little bit, try to gain yourself some track position in stage 2. Then you go to in stage 1, and you get into stage 2. You save some fuel, try to gain some more track position by the end of stage 2 to get some stage points, and it's a slow burn into the final stage, where really, I mean, you look at it, McDowell was up front pretty much the entire race. I mean, and there were a couple guys that were like that were up front the entire day, and the reason was they managed the race better than everybody else. That's what it is. I enjoyed the super speedway racing where you could come from 18th to 1st, like Dale Earnhardt did. But I also I understand and can find enjoyment in the strategy aspect of, from the drop of the green flag, you're trying to save as much fuel to have a shorter pit stop to keep your track position, and it plays from green flag to checkered flag into being in a better position to win the race. And I don't know, I can get behind it. I know a lot of people can't, but I don't know. That's just how I look at it. I can enjoy both. I can enjoy the old style. I can enjoy this. And here's something else. People are complaining because, well, they're only 3 wide because they're saving fuel, and that's the only reason we're seeing good racing or whatnot. And it's like, so it's not real. I'm like, well, the only reason we're seeing 3-wide racing at super speedway races is because they're super speedway races. It's not real. It's if we took the plates and had these cars unkempt, they would be fucking 250 miles an hour and no one would pass until someone blew a tire and ended up in the grandstands. Like, I mean, so I don't know. The whole damn thing's a gimmick, and now we add some strategy into it that also produces some 3-wide racing. So what if how it is? I mean, it's all super speedway racing is visual. Like there's not a ton of strategy, or never has been, and not a ton of like I guess raw like hard pitch strategy, track position strategy. Yeah. Now that there is, it's a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also like anytime we do one of these races, we always hear about like how many lead changes there were, this, that, or the other. I'm like, it's not that important. Yeah. Like, really, the only thing that's important is just staying in that front group. Like, yeah. So I feel like if they called the race maybe differently, instead of making a deal out of every lead change, like, dude, just be like, oh, actually, okay. So say Michael McDowell at some point in this race had moved from that lead-ish pack and being in that group to, I don't know, 15th, 20th. That would be important. Not Joey Logano and Austin Cindric swapping the lead a couple times. Yeah. Like, that's not really important.
And, yeah, especially if it is the 2x2. I could see if it's, more of like, but, yeah, lead changes aren't terribly important. And this is an honest question to everybody out there. Would you rather them save fuel and run 3 wide? Or would you rather them run in a train up against the wall after some fucking bozo pushed too hard on lap 14 and wrecked half the field? I mean, I'm sorry. I would much rather have the fuel savings than that. I mean, and that's exactly what they would do. So.
Yep. 100%. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Either way, you're going to have guys who don't really want to do anything for a while in one of these races. And that's just, and you can't blame them. Like, there's no benefit to it other than stage points. But even then, if you can find a way to get a race win, then that's, more important.
And they proved today, they say they can't pull a third line. You could pull a third line if, guys would stay in line and you have a guy that's a caliber driver as such, right here, that can pull a line.
For the audio listeners, that was
Shane Van Gisbergen. Yes. Yeah, so really a lot of the arguments against this are kind of, I don't know. I don't get them. What you doing over there?
Chuck is texting me.
Oh, what's he saying?
He's accusing me of wanting him to leave the podcast forever, and this is not true.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I said, Chuck, you're starting your break, right? And he said, yeah, why? I said, I'm just making sure. And he said, for what reason? Wants me to leave forever. Stupid Chuck, fuck.
What? He's sensitive.
We're recording.
Yeah. Ask him who his pick is. He didn't give a pick or sundress or dumbass either.
Got a pick.
Yeah. Chuck is he's doing school stuff, and obviously he's got
Chuck is chucking.
He's got big
chuckily.
He's got big media boy stuff, so we're letting him do that. He'll return shortly. We have a special guest coming on, maybe 2 if we could pull it. So, that'll be fun here in the next couple weeks for Dover and Kansas. All Are you ready?
Did we figure out who Chuck picked last time?
Yes, I did.
So
Todd,
who won?
Who won the? I mean, he did.
Okay. I don't remember, dude. You're killing me.
I told you before we started.
I don't remember anything.
Okay, can we
remember this
get
race.
along with the show?
If you'd like.
Okay. What? I mean, we can not if you don't want to. Jesus. So, okay.
Well, you told me to get a pick from him, and I'm trying to get a pick from him.
Pick, question mark. Dumbass, question mark. Sunstress, question mark. And then when we get to it, if he hasn't sent it, then he hasn't sent it.
All right.
What?
God. I didn't think he was going to send 19 messages.
Chuck.
I thought he was just going to...
Have you ever heard him on the show? You ask him
You're right, it's
you
Chuck.
ask Chuck a yes or no question, and you get the autobiography of whatever the fuck is on his mind. Like,
I was like, you got to pick, and then 46 messages.
Jesus
I'm like, oh
Christ.
my God, Charles, let's go.
Let me tell you why I'm picking BJ McLeod for Dover. He's finished.
Man, if that hit though, I'd be like, all right, Chuck, you're fixing these somehow.
Yeah. Okay, back to the show. But anyway, as I was saying before Chuck rudely interrupted the show, why can't he just be gone? If he's gonna be gone, be gone. God.
I don't know.
Yeah, like take your sabbatical, bro.
You're the one who told me to text him and ask him for a pick.
I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, like I was saying, if you have someone that can lead a line, that is a competent race car driver, as Shane Van Gisbergen is, then you can pull a third line. But if you have, people that want to, put one toe in the water, one toe out of the water, then it's not going to work. So that's why that's why you don't see a third lane. We're not trying hard enough.
You mean like when Shane was making it work, and then Ty Gibbs?
Yeah, we'll talk about it, dumbass. Anyway, so like I said, it was fuel savings most of the day, and then maybe one of the dumbest wrecks I've ever seen in my life happened. Dumbest isn't it was just unnecessary wreck.
Fair.
Yeah,
it's fair.
Very unnecessary. The Toyotas are on a different strategy, attempting to catch the field, so they're trying to stay in a tight line. I think it was 6 of them, roundabouts.
Yeah.
And Hunter Nemechek pushes Bubba Wallace into oblivion, and by oblivion I mean Eric Jones, and wrecks all of them. Puts Jones in the wall hard. Bubba Wallace hit hard. John Hunter spun down, got Denny Hamlin, turned Denny Hamlin driver's side into the fence. Like, how many times is John Hunter going to do something just over his head? Since he's gotten in the Cup, I mean, he did it in trucks and Xfinity too, but since he's gotten in Cup, I feel like it's every other week he's doing something stupid.
Well, this is John Hunter Nemechek, so
I mean, yeah. He have you ever heard an interview from his dad? It's probably the most cringy and most head ass interview you'll ever hear in your life. Yeah. Any opinions on the wreck, Seth?
It was really dumb.
Okay, great.
They should put John Hunter in front next time so he doesn't have the opportunity to wreck everybody.
Yeah, that's fair. Think about Eric Jones. He had to be transported to the hospital after the...
Yeah, that shit was vicious.
That was a hard hit. So
I do remember thinking when I watched the replay, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of funny if Tyler Reddick won this race now, though.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of what set him up, because they probably would have been a hole there without it. I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway.
I mean, I think the broadcast was pretty adamant that their strategy was going to work, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was amongst friends. Anyway, so that said, that was the final caution, correct? Yes.
Yes.
And then we rode 2x2, and Michael McDowell led the pack for what seemed like forever. And it was a slow burn, as most Talladega races are. I am very thankful we didn't have some stupid wreck with 4 to go from someone trying to, win the race from 28th, like we always do. So shout out to that. And then we got to the end of the race, and Seth, what did you think was going to happen?
I thought Brad Keselowski was going to go super Brad and wreck the field. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Can you explain to the listeners that are less educated, not that we are educated, but that maybe less, that seem to believe that Brad Keselowski caused that wreck?
Do people actually believe Brad Keselowski caused that wreck?
I've seen quite a bit of discourse on the Xverse that Brad Keselowski, that Super Brad was in full effect.
Super Brad stayed tucked away. Michael McDowell made it wasn't even a bad, well, no, it was a bad block because he wrecked himself before Brad even got to him.
Michael McDowell, there's several quotes. Dale Jr. once said, "You block, you pay," which is funny coming from Dale Jr. because he was notorious for it. But I mean, dude, you get one. You don't. Yeah. You rarely get two. And Michael McDowell took 2 swipes at it and almost a third, and got turned in front of the whole field. And he has only himself to blame for that. And he took it to the chin and accepted that, which I appreciate out of him because some drivers wouldn't have. But I mean, you saw it as soon as they went into turn 3. Brad pushed McDowell ahead, and as soon as they got to 3, Brad backed off. And you knew what was coming. I thought Noah Gragson was going to slip in there for the win. Tyler Reddick and the Toyotas, you really saw, I think what you saw there in those final laps were the Fords just raw speed. Because the Toyotas were pulling the line, but you could tell they had a harder time getting Reddick further out and clear of the lead than the Fords did for McDowell. And so once it got to 3, it was going to be a race amongst themselves, and here we are, the much publicized and Ford winless streak continues. Because of their own doings. And it was quite the fucking wreck.
Yeah, it was. As it always is.
Yeah, I mean, Corey LaJoie's fucking riding the wall going down the front stretch, just, showing his undercarriage to the entire grandstands like some sort of floozy. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Josh Berry's getting jacked up in the air, and, everybody's wrecking. Daniel Suarez got turned. I didn't appreciate that. Shane Van Gisbergen came away clean.
Kyle Larson did a full 360 and crossed the line going straight.
Yeah. It was a Talladega wreck if I've ever seen one.
It was the Talladega-iest wreck of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I get it. You're desperate. You want to win the race. You've led so much of the race. You won the pole. Talking about Michael McDowell, obviously. But man, I mean, you gotta think. It's human nature. I get it, but you gotta know, like, do I want to get wrecked right here, or do I want to just take a top 5 and go on to Dover?
Well, and also we've seen before, last year, I think the year before, if you just let him make the move, let him go to the outside of you, and then you can beat and bang a little bit, and you probably have a chance to still win the race.
Dude, you're coming off turn 4 at Talladega. And I'm not saying don't block, because obviously you're gonna block. But like, when has blocking the entire field worked?
Unless you had Dale Jr.'s early 2000s car, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, if McDowell blocks Brad, it covers the block. I mean, Brad barely made it in front of Noah Gragson. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. You go back to you get one block, you get one move, and if you can't get in that one move, you're about 99% sure you're gonna wreck.
Yeah.
So, which Tyler Reddick, I mean, just snuck through there like I don't even know, like a squirrel through a hole in a tree. That's what I mean, yeah, I don't know a good analogy for it other than threading a needle, and I feel like that's overused. So, that was, yeah, he threaded the needle, went through there, and took the win. Toyota's being slow paid off, I guess.
Yeah. But it was, I feel like it was pretty much the same end of the race as 2 years ago in this race when Kyle and Eric got into it and Ross Chastain just drives underneath
Pretty
them.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick won the race. I don't really have much to say. It was a big win. He was very excited. I
mean, I can imagine.
Yeah. You guys know.
I was just laughing because I was like, man, if you'd have told me a 2311 car won this race before the race started and it wasn't Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, when has Tyler Reddick ever contended at a plate race? I mean, he won the duel this year. He won a Talladega and Daytona Xfinity race. But, like, in his Cup career, he's not the plate racer you thought. It was you didn't have the normal players up there. Like McDowell's.
Other than Brad and McDowell.
Yeah, that was a real dumb thing I just said. Yeah, never mind.
And Gragson was up there at the end of last year's spring race. So.
Yeah, forget what I just said. That was really dumb. Yeah, I don't know. Tyler Reddick won. Michael Jordan. That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, dude. First of all, have they ever even interviewed Michael Jordan at a race?
I think they have. I don't think he gives a lot of interviews at the racetrack.
Very few guys have that aura around them, and so anytime Michael Jordan's on the screen, it's a big deal. And that's like even like during the playoffs last year, it was anytime they showed him, I was like, oh, there's Michael. That's cool. He's here. And it was that much cooler to see him. He wasn't even on top of the pit box. He was down there with the crew. And when they won the race, he's down there high-fiving them out on pit road, hugging every single one of them. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, man. He can invest all this money into the team, and he could be a guy. He could have 1 million security guards around him, and even the crew guys can't get a word with him, because of who he is. And you know what? There would still be the masses would still kiss the ground he walked on. But he's down there, with his team, celebrating, hugging the wife, holding Bo Reddick, which is the coolest thing in the world. Like, I mean, like, if you're Bo Reddick and you're going to look back in 10 years at this, you're going to be like, holy shit. Like,
I bet Bo, when he handed him off to Tyler, I bet Bo was like, damn, Dad, you're short as fuck.
Dude, I mean, yeah. Oh, man. My feelings for Tyler Reddick aside, I mean, it was a cool win. It was a very cool win. And it's something that it was good pub for NASCAR, despite the huge crash that we didn't really get to see until the fifth angle. Fox.
It's a very Fox thing to do, though.
That was production was terrible.
How on brand of them.
Yeah. I'm struggling to.
Man, hang on real quick. I watched the IndyCar race today. I was like, dude, I swear to God, if Fox gets the next IndyCar broadcast rights, I'm gonna fucking scream, dude.
I mean, yeah, I feel like we're beating a dead horse, and it's like I feel like so many times on this podcast we've run out of things to say recently because I think we're tired of fucking talking about the same old shit. And Fox definitely falls into that category for sure. But yeah, trying to think of anything else I had. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fitting that like I wanted Brad to win the race. Like I wanted to see him snap the winless streak. It's been 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But it is kind of fitting that Brad, who has thrown many bad blocks and pushed many of guys into wrecks, loses the race because of a bad block that he didn't make. So I feel like there is some sort of irony to there.
Yeah. They'll keep working at it, I guess.
Yeah. On to Dover. Anything else you had about the race?
No, not really.
Yeah. It was a very Talladega race. I'll put it like it was a very, very on brand race.
I'm fully whelmed by this race.
That's fair. Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Rundown from Down Under.
The final time onto the front stretch. He comes to the checkered flag. He's won the very first street race in NASCAR.
Rundown from Down Under. Talladega, man. What did I say coming in? I said Shane was going to wreck in the Xfinity race, and he was going to do okay in the Cup race because they all wreck.
I
think that's what I said. I wasn't exactly right, but I was sort of right.
So he did not wreck in the Cup race at the end?
No, he came correct. He kept Shane Van Gisbergen in his first Cup Oval start, and only his third. I'm gonna call it third super speedway because ARCA doesn't count. He wrecked on lap 3. In his only his third super speedway race, second and third, it comes away scot-free, just clean as a whistle. And he drove 2 really good races. Like, I mean, he's in the fight for the win at the end of the Xfinity race, and it wasn't like he was just sitting there. Like Atlanta, for instance, like he got a third, right? But he did kind of just sit there and ended up third. And Daytona, he got caught up in a lot of messes, and I feel like he was timid. And this weekend, he was aggressive. He made moves. He made blocks. He tried to push Josh Williams to the lead. Almost did. And I mean, I was honestly blown away by his performance this weekend.
Yeah, so I can only really go off of the Cup race, but I mean, he looked super comfortable out there in the Cup race.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of drag on these cars, but he didn't look out of place.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing we can say about him at this point.
Yeah.
At a race like this.
I mean, it sucks because he was lining up on the overtime of the Xfinity race he was lined up 4th with a shot there. I know coming down to the end of these things, it's hard to, especially a guy like him, you don't know how he's going to fare against some of these guys at the end of the thing. But I would have liked to at least seen him get a shot. Obviously, he ran out of gas there, which sucks.
Oh, fuck, look out!
I was shocked he didn't get ass packed. Like, I mean,
well, the fuel mileage race giveth and it taketh away. Just like, I mean, you got third because of Atlanta, or you got third in Atlanta because of gas mileage, and then
I guess that's fair. Yeah, but yeah, the Cup race again. He found himself middle of the pack. I mean, he was in the top 10 for a lot of it. Wedged in there with his Trackhouse teammates of Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain. And at the end of it, I thought Shane was going to pull him up for the fucking win in the Cup race.
I mean, he had Chase Elliott shoving him hard.
I mean, it was. We were kind of looking at. Obviously, they were going to cover it, but I mean, he was gaining about 2 rows a lap, which is the first time outside of fuel savings I've seen in this car the outside worked that well at Talladega. And you have this Kiwi from fucking New Zealand in his first oval start just leading the line. He's going to lead him right to the front and give him a run for his money at his first Talladega race. He's led laps in 3 of his 4 Cup starts.
That's hilarious.
That is unreal, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. I was getting, dude. There was a minute there. I thought he was gonna pull him up to the lead. I was like, dude, Shane Van Gisbergen is about to fucking win Talladega. Like, we joked about it all weekend, but he did not. He was not able to challenge even for the win. Thanks to our brilliant defending champion Ryan Blaney. Great job, Ryan. You're such a good driver and such a smart one at that. Yes, the entire field, your entire line that you're 4th in is going to the front. So let me pull down in 25th and go to the middle line. So that really pissed me off. That was just, as someone who we give credit to as one of the best super speedway racers, that was a really dumb move that pissed me off. Pretty much solely because of my bias towards Shane Van Gisbergen.
Fair. I'm not going to argue. That was really dumb. Ryan Blaney, you fucked over Shane Van Gisbergen on purpose, and we don't like you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good to know. Good to see. He's coming back to Talladega. He's got another shot at it.
Win? No.
Yeah. Oh, he's running Daytona too. I forgot about that.
Cup
Yeah,
series?
yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because he got a new sponsor. I'm pretty sure he's running Daytona. Pretty sure. Like I said, pretty sure he's running Daytona. I'm almost positive he's running Daytona in August.
All right.
Yeah. So he's
interesting.
Yeah.
That one he probably will probably end up crashed.
I mean,
because
that's
everyone does in that race.
That's kind of just what you do. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, but hey, man, he might be a good little plate racer.
Fuck, who knows? He might win.
Like, I mean, dude,
he might be the next Dale Earnhardt of plate races.
Dude, I mean, to be fair, in his 3.
I'm sorry, Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon had the most wins all time at plate races, actually.
Whatever. Shane he's run 3 Speedway Xfinity races and one Cup. He got some damage in Xfinity, but he's rolled across the line in every one of them and kept his nose clean in 3 out of 4 of them. So I think that's something to be said. He obviously had Wendy's on the car this weekend. Seth, do you dip your fries in Frosty?
I've done it before, but it's not like a common thing for me to do now.
Is it do you like it?
You know what I really like doing at Wendy's?
Okay.
Putting bacon in my Frosties.
Okay, I don't know if I can get beyond that. Well,
look,
I don't know.
As someone, hey, hang on. As a former Wendy's employee, that shit was fire.
Bacon in a Frosty.
I called it the Baconator Frosty. Yes,
Baconator Frosty. I feel like we should have one of these on the show.
I'd have to call someone and be like, hey, could you make me a Baconator Frosty?
What the fuck?
I guess we could just order a side of bacon and then.
Yeah, I don't think we have to make all these calls.
It's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. You just can't let it get too cold. Anyway,
does New Zealand have Wendy's? Do we know? Do you know? You work there.
I never went to New Zealand to go to a Wendy's convention or something, so I don't know.
I mean, okay.
I'm guessing no.
Okay,
but I can Google it if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead and Google that. I'm gonna talk to the listeners for a little bit. So all of our thousands of New Zealand and Australian listeners, do you guys have Wendy's? Which I guess that's about to figure that out. And do you dip your fries in a nice frosty milkshake? Yeah. And what do they even have fries?
Yes, there are Wendy's in New Zealand.
Okay, if I'm going to need all of you from New Zealand to go to a Wendy's and dip your fries in Frosty, or at least tell me if you do.
They're officially listed as Wendy's hamburgers,
Wendy's hamburgers. All right.
which is interesting.
Give me the fucking burger now.
Give me a fucking cool burger.
Cool burger. If you guys did not see
that is a picture. If for the Americans, that appears to be a picture of an Auckland, New Zealand.
That is.
Wendy's.
I'll just throw it up on the screen, dude. Like, just
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. If you guys didn't see the blooper reel they put out of the Wendy's thing that Trackhouse did at the beginning of the year, it is comedy gold. And just Wendy's in general, like their activations are top notch.
It's very good. I wish the company was run about that well, but anyway. Look, we're not getting sponsored by Wendy's, so I'm not gonna blow them too hard. But
I mean, they had a whole they have a Wendy's in Talladega, like in the infield of Talladega, and I'm really disappointed that we went to Talladega the past 2 years and we could have gone this year and met our Lord and Savior Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disappointing, but we'll definitely have to stalk him. I mean, meet him somewhere else.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Those two cars looked amazing though.
They were very nice.
Ride or fry, baby. Ride or fry.
Ride or fry.
Yeah. I think that's all we had for the rundown this week.
I believe so.
All right, cool. Sundress and dumbass.
All right, let's see if Chuck actually gave us one first.
All right.
Oh, we gotta. I guess I can go in the meantime. I'm gonna go with Michael Jordan for my sundress.
That's a good sundress.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with BJ McLeod.
Okay.
What?
That was also Chuck's.
That was also
sundress.
Chuck's. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we will both have VJ McLeod as our sundress. Bro went for. I don't care about the fuel mileage. I don't care if the run to the front was artificially inseminated by the fuel mileage and fuel savings. My man, looking like Dale Earnhardt, went from 37th to 10th. Or 37th to 1st in 10 laps.
All right.
Put some respect on BJ.
Chuck, I think Chuck figured you were gonna say that, or someone was. So he wrote bonus to Landon Huffman for his badass interview on Saturday night.
I'm not playing it because we're gonna play it on tour. But it
was badass.
It was a badass interview. He kind of just reamed the asshole of Marcus Richmond at RNS Racing, which was kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
So he's just a dumb kid from Claremont that just don't know how to work on race cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
All right. I think we all have the same dumbass, right?
I got a couple.
Okay. Well, Chuck and I both have Michael McDowell.
Okay. I was going to say Michael McDowell. John Hunter Nemechek's an honorable mention for sure. I think whoever the fueler is on the 97 Xfinity car, you disappoint me. Ryan Blaney pissed me off.
Anyone else?
I don't know. I'll get there. The preacher, and I'll leave it at that. That is
not the anthem singer.
That is he was trying his best. This is an inside joke for us. This is not whatever. Y'all can,
not really podcast material.
Y'all can think whatever from that. Picks for Dover.
All right, so Chuck won. So he is gonna say he's going with Ryan Blaney.
It's an interesting pick for Dover, let me tell you.
Yeah. So did I beat you, right? Because you had Eric Jones.
Yes, I had Eric Jones.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with Noah Gragson.
Interesting.
Also, Chuck says hi to everybody.
Fuck,
so, hey.
dude, fuck Chuck.
I mean, you can if you never mind.
Chuck really, his real reason for not coming on is because he cut all his hair off and he's embarrassed by it. And he's going to kick me in the dick for saying that because that's not actually why it is. But yeah. Shit, I got 2. You know what? I'm going to put some faith in the man. Alex Bowman.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Bowman's gonna give him a good show this week. How about pick the other? No, damn it.
I'm sure Blaney will win by like 12 laps or something since Chuck.
Dude, Chuck is on a heater, bro. He's won 3 in a row. Hasn't won the race with any of them, but he's won 3 in a row of these picks. So yeah, we will be in Dover. So
we will.
If anybody gives a shit, let us know. We'll say hello. That's it. That's all we're gonna say though. We'll say hello and we'll do the old Danny B special. We'll kind of acknowledge you and then keep moving.
I'm not gonna comment further.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all I had from Talladega.
Well, personally,
What?
nothing.
Oh man,
We gotta stop before we get in trouble.
with who?
I don't
No
know,
shot
but like,
that son of a bitch watches this, and even if he
no,
does,
you're right.
like,
Oh, okay, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, we're just dude. I mean, we're just some bag boys. Like,
What you gonna do when we bring your food?
oh god, yeah. Honorary sundress Shane Van Gisbergen because fucking why not, dude? Dude, he's
universal honorary.
Before we go, dude, he's so fucking good. Like everywhere he goes, he's so fucking good.
Yeah, he is.
Fucking shout out to him, man. I'm so proud of him.
The man Shane.
Dude, Dover, oh man, he's gonna have a hell of a time at Dover.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think
I bet he's gonna go into the corner for the first time and be like,
what
whoa.
the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You can feel a fucking booger now.
You're a fucking burger now.
Give me a cool booger.
Be cool burger. Looking good, Daniel. Fuck you, I know. God damn. Yeah, that's all we had.
Yeah.
So we should probably go before we say something bad.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. Go fuck yourself.